my name is Joey Nunez, and I will be the Q&A host for today's GIC talk. In case you did not get a slip of paper in the back, one of our volunteers can give that to you by just raising your hand, and you can write your questions on a piece of paper. The volunteers will bring up these questions to me during this Q&A session. We do ask that people not ask direct questions to the speaker, that it goes through me first. Okay?
They have to be censored.
We do have to just double check to be sure. So my first question to you, Tony, is just to share a little bit about your journey of how you ended up in Gwangju, in this area. Specifically, I know that you talked maybe a little bit about Korea, but how did you find the current
Actually,
location?
I don't live in Gwangju. I live in a place called Jangheng. It's 1 hour from here, or just over 1 hour. How did I come to Jangheng? I mentioned earlier about this Korean friend 10 years ago that used to introduce me as being his father. I knew him a long time through the internet. I've always been interested in Korea through my marriage. And his uncle has a hotel in Jangheng. And the uncle is friends with an academy director that used to have a maths academy, but wanted to have an English academy. So he asked me if I'd like to come to Korea to open an English academy, which is Tony's English school, which I'm very proud of.
Tony's Fun Factory and how that all began, the whole process of opening up a business.
I think I actually mentioned that in my talk. I said that I'd spent many hours making games. And I realized that there was not the sort of games that teachers actually needed. And that's why I decided. Being a teacher, I spent all of my free time making card games. So I thought, okay, I'm going to change it. I'm going to make making card games into my business, and have the time I would usually have for teaching have as my free time. So that I have some free time.
Very good. What would you say is now your regular routine through a day-to-day? So what do you specifically do?
Well, I get up about 6 o'clock, I brush my teeth, have a cup of coffee and a cigarette. That's a difficult question, Joe. I did mention that there are still a lot of hurdles to overcome. There are things like copyright, selling the card games. People have asked me, we need an ISBN number, so I've had to go up to Seoul, to the Korean National Library to register to get ISBN numbers. And then, of course, being a foreigner, things are always 10 times more difficult if you don't speak Korean. Finding a good printer, finding the connections that I need. Marketing is a very big problem. So I'm spending a lot of my time actually still working on getting my business going.
Now, you had mentioned during your talk a little bit about thinking outside of the box. This whole concept sometimes is hard for some people to understand. What does that look like to you? How do you interpret outside of the box?
Speak freely. That's why I tried to give this explanation to this student he really was a good student. He used to learn 3 books a month. Fine. But he used to learn them. He was learning inside the box. He couldn't hold a proper conversation in English because he only learned what was written down on paper. So you have to open up. You have to be. You have to have a much wider scope than just textbooks.
What would you say would be a success story of a student that you have worked with in the past? Someone that has enjoyed the process of learning from Tony's Fun Factory, or before you started the business? Someone that just had a...
That's also a very, very, very difficult question. I said that I had students from kindergarten through to adults. And when you have the students for 4 years, I actually said that my business is in the same building as Tony's English school. I'm 1 floor higher. So I still see the students coming after 10 years. They've been coming 10 years to the same academy. And when you see little toddlers that were still sucking their thumb, and they're now almost graduating from elementary school, you see how kids grow up. And you feel like they're your own children. And when you go to a supermarket and you hear a student from right at the back shout, "Hi, Tony teacher!" It gives a warm feeling. I think that is a success when children are happy to greet you. I think that shows you've done a good job.
What would you say is something that you want to impart the most to Korean children, besides just teaching them English? What is something else that you want to share?
Fun. Get away from the stress. Don't work so hard. They are children and they must be children. A lot of Korean children don't have a childhood. They have to learn to be children. They have to learn to play.
I have time for one more question. If you didn't have the chance to ask your question that you were curious to ask, feel free to talk with the speaker, Tony, afterwards. So Tony, at this point, your company, your organization is still growing. What would you say are some things that you'd like to share with this community as well as those who are listening online about what your company offers?
Spread the word. I need customers, so spread the word. Just get in touch with me. Give me ideas. Let me know what you think about the games if you've tried the games. If you're not convinced, then get in touch with me and I'll give you a trial game, very, very cheap to try out, so that you get to know our products. It's always difficult. The first step is always very, very difficult to make. But once the ball starts rolling, it'll roll. Help me make the ball roll.
All right. Thank you so much, Tony, and let's give Tony